Hi, welcome to another video, and in this video we're looking at the May-June 2025 technical drawing, mechanical drawing, past paper. So for some of you, if you're watching it now and you would have done the exam a few weeks ago, this is what we would be expecting of you in this exam here. Now I'm going to be separating this paper into two sections. The first video is going to be on the assembly drawing, and the second video is going to be on the sketch and design. Now all these videos will be placed in the description. It will be a part of a playlist. The drawing file of the worked question, as well as the PDF version of the past paper and the worked drawing, will also be in the description for your use. Alright, now also please go ahead, leave a like. You may also share this content, subscribe if you must, and let's get into things. Now as usual, you know, these exams are typically 2 hours and 40 minutes, and this exam was in the morning. Alright, so let's see. So usual treatment here, so I'm not going to dive too much into that. I'm just going to jump to the assembly drawing section and we'll start to read what is going on there. Now here it says, mechanical engineering drawing. This paper consists of two questions. It is divided into two sections, section 1, assembly drawing, and section 2, sketch and design. Answer both questions. Candidate may either use traditional drawing method or computer-aided drafting, which we're going to be using today. Now we're at section 1, assembly drawing. It says do not spend more than 2 hours on this section. By the looks of things, we probably will spend about an hour, could be less, depending on the complexity of the assembly drawing. Alright, now if I can do it, you most certainly can do it as well. So let's see what we have here. It says figure 1 on the enclosed sheet shows the first angle orthographic projection detail of the parts that make up a plumber's block assembly. In the assembly, the two bushes, which are labeled number 3, are fitted into the body, which is labeled number 1. With the oil hole at the top, the cap, which is labeled number 2, is then placed on the body, which is labeled number 1, so that the oil hole on the bush number 3 are aligned. Two M14 square-headed bolts, which are labeled number 4, are used to secure the cap, which is labeled number 2, into the body. As you know, that's number 1. Alright, the shaft, which is labeled number 6, is fixed into the bush, alright, which is labeled number 3, before tightening the two M14 square-headed nuts, which are labeled number 5, in place. Now the shaft must be securely held in place for work to be done. Now that is just a description of what should go where. So they're basically telling you where each part should go. Now let's see what they want us to do, or what type of orthographic drawing they want us to do. Alright, so in typical fashion it says draw full size, either in first angle or third angle orthographic projection, the following views of the assembly. Oh, and I'm seeing that they use the usual route in terms of like asking you what to do. They say a plan of the plumber's block, assembly, showing all in detail, and that's for 35 marks right there. Alright, so they want a plan view of the assembly, ensure that we show all in detail. And then the next one is that they want you to draw a sectional front elevation of the plumber's block assembly on the reference point DD, and that is 41 marks. So maybe this carries more work, I don't know. This is 35, this has like 6 marks more. Alright, now after we finish drawing all of that, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to draw a parts list. Draw a parts list and show 8 main dimensions, to include a length, a diameter, a radius, and a metric screw thread specification for 11 marks. This one is a bit confusing. They want you to draw a parts list. A list is a list. Or are they talking about they want you to draw the parts? And here as well, are they telling you to label the parts individually and not the assembly here? Anyways, we'll do whatever this says, and we'll also dimension these as well and label what needs to be labeled. Alright? As well as the parts. Because we're going to be using the puzzle method anyways. Now, at the end, you are to print the title, plumber's block assembly, and the scale used. Alright, show the projection symbol. The projection symbol for the method that you use. Alright, for 3 marks. All of this here is worth 90 marks. And there is a fine note down here that says all fillet, basically the curves on the objects, are 3 millimeters. Alright, so we're now at the 5-minute marker, just reviewing what is here. And we're going to see what the drawing actually looks like. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Let me rotate this a bit so we can have a better view. Another rotation. Alright, excellent. As you can see, here we have the body, which is labeled number 1. We have the bushing labeled number 3. The square-headed bolt labeled number 4. We have the shaft labeled number 6. The M14 slotted nut for this over here, which is labeled number 5. We have our split pin here, and we have the cap for the body here labeled number 2. Here we have the orthographic symbol, as you can see, and here they repeat the things that we needed to do for the curves, which are 3 in radius. Alright, so this is an amazing drawing, a very simple one at that as well. It shouldn't take us much time, as these shapes are very simple. Alright, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be breaking here, stopping it at the 7 minutes, and I'm going to take this image over into AutoCAD because on the day of the exam you'll have yours in front of you, but because I don't want to go back and forth, I'll simply copy an image and place it into AutoCAD and draw from that image. See you in the next snap. So we're now in AutoCAD. We have our image here as well with us. Now let's see if we can get into things. Now we're going to be drawing these one part at a time. We're going to be drawing the plan view as well as the end view front elevation of the drawing. Now we're going to start things off by first drawing the, what you will call this, the body of the clamp, if you want to call it that, because we are going to be required to do a plan view and the section as well. Now for the section, all we're going to be doing is that everywhere that is, based on where it is cutting, DD, right across the middle here, these are representing the holes that is in the middle there, as you can see. Now because we're cutting through these holes, if we're doing it from a sectional view perspective, all these in detail lines that you're seeing here are going to become solid line. Alright, so they're going to become outlines or object line, if you want to call it that. Alright, and that's the only thing that is going to change in relation to the end, well, the elevation views. Alright, we're going to be changing these to solid line. So let's get into things. This seems simple, but let's see how things go in relation to this. So we're currently a minute into our video. As they said, 2 hours on this section, so we have more than enough time. This here is a simple drawing, if you can see. We're going to start things off by first drawing a rectangle representing this here. Alright, now what are the dimensions for this rectangle? I'm seeing where if I can well, I don't want to calculate anything. So this rectangle that is here, let's see. Alright, I'm seeing 100 here. Is it from this end here? Yes, so from this end to the middle is 100. So I'm guessing that the overall thing is actually 200 and the thickness is 60. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is draw a rectangle. Now this rectangle that I'm going to draw, the first measurement that I'm going to enter has to do with the width of the object right here, the width of the object, and this width is going to be equal to 200. Alright, once I enter that 200, I'm going to press my tab key and then I'm going to enter the measurement that is here, which is 60. then I can press enter. Alright, that is it right there. Now let's tackle these inner portion, these holes that you're seeing here. Now, where are these holes going to be? Now, what I'm going to be doing, so I'm examining my drawing to see what is actually going on here. Examining my drawing to find out if there's anything in relation to dimensions here. Alright, so from what I'm seeing here, this, let me see if I can highlight. So you're seeing some measurement here. I'm going to be working my way out from the middle. So as you can see, it says from here to here is 62. Alright, from here to here is 62. That's basically here to here. Alright, so I can use that as a reference marker for me. Alright, it says that this little inset portion here is actually 4. As you can see from the arrow there, you're seeing one line down and another line and then arrows pointing to it, and then you see 4. So the gap from where? From here to here is actually 4. So we're going to start off by drawing that portion there first. So the overall thing is 62. Half of 62 is going to be 31. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to draw a line down the middle here. Let me turn on my O snap. 31. And I'm going to offset on either side 31. So O, enter, 31, enter, click to the right, and then click to the left. Remember that 4 millimeter that I was talking about right here. Now because this thing here is the overall, I'm going to be offsetting inwards by that 4. So O, enter, 4, enter, and then I click. Hope you can see what's going on here. Click that, click that right there. Alright, now with that in place, let me just add these to my object layer so we can have some clarity as we're going along. Alright, so see what's going on. This line here is just a reference line. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to need it, so I'm going to keep it there for now. Alright, now that we have these two lines, these two vertical lines, we now need to target these holes that we're seeing here. We have this one here and we have this one here. I'm just going to be drawing one on one side and then the other, just because I can always mirror it to the other side because this is a perfectly symmetrical object. Now this is saying that the center of this hole here, or circle here, is actually 45 millimeters away from the center. So this is going to make our life a bit easier. And the diameter of this circle here is actually 14 millimeters. Alright, so let's find the center of that one first. So how much was it? 45. So I'm going to offset 45, and this 45 is a reference line for me. So it's about there. I need to find the center is going to be somewhere here. The diameter of the circle is 14. So it means that the radius is going to be 7. Yeah. So let's draw a circle right in the center there. Radius 7. Alright, there we go. Then now we're trying to find out what's going on for this one here. Now as you can see, there's also a curve here. There's a curve here. There's a curve here, but we need to find out where is the center of that curve and all that fancy stuff there. Alright, now since we have this here, let's go ahead and put it on the relevant layer. And once I've done so, I can now mirror it to the other side to make things easier, using the center line there as my reference line. Select no. Alright, as you can see, we're pretty much on our way and we're at 6 minutes. Alright, and we're almost finished with this. Now there's only 4 things left for us to do. Is the second hole. Alright, now as you can see here, we're not seeing where the center is here. Alright, or where is the center of this hole located, but we can see it on this side here. As you can see, they're saying that it's actually 18 millimeter from the end to the center. If you look at it here, these dimensions here. Alright, remember the dimensions are always pointing to what it's actually measuring. I mean, my photocopied version here is not so clean, but you can see a faint line of a little white tick here. Alright, I don't want to go on the image. So here it is. So 18 millimeter. So I'm going to offset 18 millimeter. So offset 18. Oh, this is a solid thing. Would have to explode. What should I do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a line from here, this direction, 18 millimeters. Alright? Then now I'll use the end of it as the circle, the center of the circle. So I activate my circle command, find the center here, click. The radius for that circle is actually, let's see, let's just make sure we're doing it correctly and it's the right thing. That is pointing to, what is it pointing to? Just make sure I'm not doing the wrong thing. So this is pointing to the curve for 9, and this is pointing to the diameter. But I'm seeing I need a clearer image. Alright, we'll figure it out. Let's start off with doing a 6 radius. Yeah, and it makes sense. 6 radius. So that's the 6. Alright. Then the other radius, that is 9. Alright. The other radius is 9. So it means that the diameter for this here, the diameter for this here is actually 18. 9 and 9 is 18. Alright, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to offset 9. Your method might vary in terms of like how you tackle this on either side like this. So 9 on either side, and that will pretty much tackle that little straight part that you're seeing on yours or on mine. So that's the 9. Alright, now where does this curvature portion here starts? Is it on here? Is it on there? I'm not sure. Let's look at this one here. Is it on here? 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 Alright, let's see. Let's look at the elevation view just to make sure we're on track here. Alright, so it's going to be somewhat in line with this here, like this. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and draw that circle from here. You could use the arc tool if you like as well, and you're going to draw that one there like that. Now this reference line on this one here, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Alright, then now I'm going to do some more trim. I'm going to trim away this portion of the circle. Alright, now this circle that is here, or this arc, or whatever you want to call it, semicircle, I'm going to be mirroring it to the other side of this here, like that. Select no to not erase that, and then now I'm going to use these lines as my cutting plane to trim away here and here, as you can see there. Alright, now it looks like what it should look like. Alright, now the only other thing that is missing is this curvature portion here. Now what is this curvature portion dimension? We do not know at the moment, so we're going to try to find out what it is. So let's look at what is going on up here in relation to the curvature, if there's any reference in relation to that. No, we're not, but we do see this 64 radius from the center curving out. As you can see, this is basically one circle coming around like this. Alright, so we're going to use that 63 radius. So you have to be figuring things out as you're going along, always thinking ahead. If you don't see the dimension on one of the drawings, simply move to the next one and you'll certainly find the dimensions. So let's draw a circle whose radius here is 63. Alright, and now things are taking shape. So let's go ahead and trim away the excess, clean up our drawing so it looks like what it should. So now that we have all of these here, it's time for us to erase what needs to be erased. These now needs to be mirrored onto the other side. So this here needs to be mirrored to the other side. using the center line here as my reference marker. As you can see, everything now is where it's supposed to be. We can now put everything on the object layer. There we go. So as you can see, our body is now finished. Now, if you like, you can go ahead and draw the plan view for the top cap. You can also simply draw the elevation view of the body as well. Whichever way, if you're a bit fed up of this, you can move on to the next, whatever. The option is yours, as long as you get it done. Alright? Now, for me now, I'm going to simply just draw the elevation view now of the body. Alright? Now, to make things easier for me, I'm going to start by drawing an horizontal line like this. Alright? I'm going to offset up first, 14 millimeter, and this 14 millimeter is to represent this thickness here, that base portion there. So I'm going to go ahead and offset 14 millimeters up like this. Alright, so we have that 14 millimeters. The next thing is that we need to cap off those ends. No, we already know the width of it because we already have it down here. And this is the beauty of orthographic projection. So I just use this corner as a reference marker, click, and then draw my line up, ensuring that ensuring that things are perpendicular to each other. So if I don't see my lines, my green line is there, click, up, click, okay, great. I'll now fillet the corners, but you can also trim if you like. The option is yours. Now, once I've filleted those corners, if you notice the curvature that is here, remember they say that these filleted curvature here is actually 3 millimeters. Is it 3? Yes, 3 millimeters. So we're going to use the fillet tool for this. So we're going to go fillet, click down here where it says radius, enter 3, then press enter, and then fillet the corners like this. And that should clean up things for us. Alright, great. Now, for this portion here, if you can see it, and we're just slowly working our way up, this little protrusion portion. Now, this here, you can see they have mentioned it up here. They said that the boss is 3 millimeters high. The boss that they're referring to is this here. Now, this is one of the convention things that is typically asked in sketch and design portion for you to know what it is, represented, things like that. Alright, you may see that in other videos that I've created on that topic. Now here I'm going to simply be offsetting this horizontal line up by 3 millimeters. Alright, that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to offset up 3 millimeters for the boss portion, or boss portion if you want to call it that. Now, how do I know where to draw my line? I'm simply going to be projecting lines up from the corner here to represent it, and then from the other corner here to represent that as well. Once I've done so, I can now clean up my drawing by trimming away any excess line. Now, whatever is done to one side has to be done to the next, so let's mirror this to the other side. Using the center line here as my reference point. And remember this reference that I have here, let me put it back on the white so I can easily identify it. Alright, so we're on our way. Now, we need to represent the hole that is inside of here. This hole here, alright, where the bolt is going to pass through. As you can see from the broken line there, you can see from the reference line here. Now to draw that, all I will be doing is that I'm going to be projecting lines up from my plan view. And again, as I said before, this is the beauty of orthographic drawing. You don't need to be stressing yourself about calculating anything. You simply project your lines to where you need it to be. Now remember, this is going to be a sectional drawing. So these currently are hidden detail, but we don't want them to be hidden detail because they're going to be in the sectional view and they're going to be visible edges. So why not just go ahead now from the start and make those solid line, since we're going to be having it that way. So let's make this a part of our object line. Everything here a part of our object line, our object layer. Alright. Now because this is a cutout, right? Cutout. I'm just thinking about something here. The embossed portion going to be, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove the middle portion here, because when you look inside of the shaft, it will be one clean shaft. You will not see the edge here. Alright, because it's smooth going all the way down. Alright, all the way down. The only reason why we leave this here, because we'll see the visible edge here and here. Now this will also be mirrored onto the other side. Why? Because this is a symmetrical object, and you can see from the drawing that we have a hole on that side as well. So let's trim and clean out that portion as well. Now, other portion to include, we have this hole here in the middle. But before we do that, let's sort out the overall height of this portion here. Now, as you can see, they're saying from the bottom or the base to the top, the dimension is actually 68. So let's go ahead and offset up 68 from the bottom. So O, enter 68 here. So offset 68 up. Alright, great. Now, again, because we're doing an orthographic drawing, for to know the sides and where all that go, we can simply project a line from the edge here up like this, and from the edge here up like this. Likewise, I could have just offset it up once and then mirror to the other side. So let's now clean up our drawing by trimming what needs to be trimmed, filleting what needs to be fillet. The option is yours. Heck, you could even use chamfer as your preferred method. Now, I'm going to stop it right there and trim away whatever is here. Wow, isn't that amazing? Alright, so we have that out of the way. Alright, now this is these are the portion of the drawing that will take the most time, just reproducing the different parts. But once it gets to the assembly portion, that part literally takes 10 to 15 minutes, because all you're doing is matching, putting everything together like a puzzle. But this is the portion that actually takes time. Alright, so we're there now. So let's look at the other portion. Now the option is yours at this point now. Alright, do we want to draw the curved portion here now, or are we going to leave it? Alright, the decision is yours at this point. Now, how are we going to know these things? Now, the curvature portion starts, so you can see what's going on. So, the curvature portion, as you can see, starts about here and it goes down, the radius being 27. From the top down to here, this locking portion here, the radius is actually, no, the measurement is actually 16. So we're going to start things off with that. So we're going to offset down 16 from that point. So offsetting 16, let's go. O, enter 16, and let's offset that down. Alright, I'm in no rush. Alright, once I have that, I can now draw the curvature portion, which is going to be smack in the center, radius being 27. Alright, so let's go. O, enter, click. Oh, that O is offset. C, enter, click, and then the radius, which is 27, enter. Alright, let me double check. I don't know if I did something wrong there. Click, 27, enter. Alright, great. Once that is done, I'm going to be trimming away everything to the top here, like that. Now, only thing that's left for me to do now is to project some lines up. So, for example, from this corner here up like this. And you could do the same from the other corner here up. And you realize that everything is lining up as they should. Alright? Now let's do some cleaning up. So let's trim away everything that is here, here as well. Am I missing anything? I guess we don't need it because that would have been a reference line. Grab onto this line and mirror it to the other side. Once that is done, let's do some cleaning up. Fillet. Let's ensure that our radius is at 0 for now. And then we can fillet here to here. Bear in mind that you could have also trim as well, because you're going to have to trim out this middle portion here anyways. So grab onto this, trim out the middle portion here, and you're also trimming away this top portion here. Now let's go ahead and add these to the relevant layer, which is our object layer. Alright, as you can see, where things are coming along nicely. The only thing that is missing now is the shaft or the hole where the bolt is going to be placed, the square-headed bolt. Alright, so we're going to do that now, if you can see what I'm talking about, this portion here. Now, how are we going to draw this? Now, we already have them down here already, you know, so all we'll do is simply project our lines up to represent that portion there. Alright, just draw our lines up. Yeah, no worries. Alright, and then now we simply, let me just double check. Just trim it. I'm going to trim it here for now. I'm going to do some further cleaning up, so I'm going to trim here, between here and here. What am I getting rid of? This horizontal line here. Now here as well also is curved. Using the fillet tool, I'm going to be modifying that with the radius being 3 for the curvature. So I'm clicking here and here, and again here and here. Alright, so we have that curvature out of the way. Now for this portion here, this portion, if you can see my cursor, this portion here, alright, this portion of the square, where the square-headed thing is going to go. Alright, now because we do not know and we do not see the dimensions for that, we can see representations of it here. We can see representation of it here. I'm going to try to see if I can find it, because here is a square-headed. Oh, the measurement is there. It says square 24. Square 24. So here is a rectangle that is a square that is 24. So let me go rectangle. I'm just going to draw it out in the open here first. Click, and then I'm going to go 24. Tab key 20. 24. Enter. Then now I'll grab it. Now if my snapping feature, let me push this to this side here. My timer. Alright. I'm going to ensure that my snapping feature that is called geometric center is on. Yes. So I'm going to be moving this. Hopefully I can find the center, and I'm going to place it right in the center there like that. Alright. Now once that is done, I can now project lines up for that right there, because that's where it should be. Alright. Now for the height of it, we can find that on this as well, hopefully. It is 9. So it means that we can offset up this bottom line here, or this baseline here, by 9. So enter 9. So I'm literally thinking as I'm going along, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? This is how I draw, because I'm always thinking about what's the next step after I have finished here. What is the next step? Alright, so let's clean up our drawing. Clean up our drawing. What does this look like? Here, trimming away that. Here as well. Okay, just like that. Now remember, all this here, let me just go ahead and add these to my object layer, because I'm going to be mirroring everything now. So now that I have them, I'm going to mirror them to the other side like this. No, as you can see, just like that, we have finished the entire body portion of the assembly. Alright, we have finished the body portion of the assembly. Done and dusted. So we can move on to the next part. The next part that we're going to be tackling is the cap. Cap seems fairly simple, but let's see how things go. Alright, so we're going to start things off, and I'm going to be moving these around with me because I want things to be as clear as possible. So I'm right there now, and we're now drawing. Let me move this down a bit. Maybe I should move the drawing. So we're going to be drawing the cap portion now. Alright, now because this is an orthographic drawing, all I'm going to be doing is projecting lines across like this for the plan view, that is, and I'll just draw within the space there. Alright, that's what I'll do. Just like that. Alright, now believe it or not, believe it or not, you see this entire part here is actually a replica of this entire part here with some slight modification. Alright, so guess what I'm going to do? Just to make my life a bit easier, I'm going to simply grab onto this, the circle as well, the circle, and these two lines here, and I'm going to be copying them over. So I'm going to go C, P, enter, and I'm going to copy them over. And that is just an observation that I've made that will make your life a lot easier. Now, as you can see here, they're saying that from here to here is actually 111 millimeter. Now let's check to see that this is actually 111 millimeters, because things can change and we can have errors. As you can see, on target 111 millimeters. Isn't that amazing? Alright, so now that we have established that everything there is correct as it should, we're now going to be finalizing this portion with the missing portions. So as you can see, we have a curvature here, curvature there. So we have to interpret what is going on here and sort out what we need to have sorted out. So let's clean up, paste them on the relevant layer, object. Alright, great. So let's see if we can make sense of what is going on here. This is pointing to a circle or something. Oh, this is referring to the curve. I'm seeing 4 in diameter. Not sure what that is representing. I'm seeing 14 in diameter. What is it pointing to? This is pointing to this. This is pointing to... Oh, I see what's going on. This 4 millimeter diameter here is this hole here. I think they mentioned it in the description, so that's what we're going to be doing. Smack in the middle. Smack in the middle. We're going to do that 4 millimeter hole. Circle, enter. So the radius is going to be 2 if the diameter is 4. So that's our little oil hole, as they say. This curvature part here, we're trying to figure out how we're working that one out. We're trying to figure that one out, where it comes from. Just a sec, trying to find where that comes from and what's the dimension, because this here is this, from what I'm seeing, the diameter. This here is this. This is this curvature. They're not telling us what this is, but this is obviously scoring into the curvature of the thing. This is actually curving into the curve, cutting into it. on this side here, this is 25. Let's see what that 25 does for us here. Circle, enter, click. 25. Alright, so we're going to leave that one there for now until we figure it out because things are a bit blurry on our end here. So we're going to leave that for now. We'll probably figure that one out later on. Alright, so let's just draw the elevation view of the remaining portion. So we know what the width of the object is. Alright, and this is something that you should always be emphasizing on. If something is not clear to you, leave it and come back to it at a later time, because you can't waste valuable time trying to figure out things that is challenging you. Alright, because by the time you get to where you should be, you probably realize what is going on and then you could come back to it afterwards. Alright, so let's do that now. So I've drawn an horizontal line. That horizontal line there, I'm going to be offsetting up by 16, as you can see there, to represent that portion. So O, enter 16, and let's pop that line up there like that. Alright, now for this portion here, as you can see, again we're doing an orthographic drawing, so we can simply project our lines up. You can see where we're seeing that this, let's just double check to ensure that all is well. From here in the center to here, the radius is 27. Alright, good. So let's clean up and sort out some stuff. Trim away all the excess on the side, at least I'll have a reference line now. So we're going to go circle, center, up in the here by 27, enter. Alright, now that we have that in place, we can now trim away this bottom portion here. Alright, great. Then now I'll project a line up from the side here, dynamic tracking to guide that one there, like that. Then I'll mirror it to the other side, or you could use other method. The option is yours. Now once that is done, I'm going to use that said two lines and I'm going to trim away this middle line here. I'm going to use this circle here and trim away this middle portion here. This line here, these two lines we'll use to trim away here and here. Alright, and then now finally we'll use these two lines to trim away this and this. Alright, now you see how things are taking shape. Once that is done, we need to show the thickness portion. Thickness, escape, L, enter. This thickness here, that is actually 12 millimeters. So let's do that one. So let's offset up 12, and bear in mind that this could have been done at an earlier time as well, because we had the completed line across, so we wouldn't have to offset 2 times and all that stuff. So let's now clean up things and get rid of the top portion there. Great. Now let's do the top curvature, which is right here. The top curvature, the diameter or the radius for that, the diameter is 90. So if the diameter is 90, and let's make sure it's actually 90, it means that the radius half of 90 is what? 45? 45 and 45, 90. Yeah. So I'm going to draw another circle from this center here, whose radius is 45. Please bear in mind you could have drawn an arc as well. I'm going to use these two lines as my cutting plane to trim away the excess circle. Then now you could do one of two things: fillet the corners or trim the corner. The option is yours to clean up here and here. Alright, so as you can see, it is pretty much finished. The only thing that is missing is the holes for the bolt and the oil hole. Alright, now the oil hole, which is here, I'm going to project lines up for that. As you can see, I don't want it to snap to anything, so I'm going to draw it the line a bit further past the marker because it was trying to snap to the center. And that's something that you have to bear in mind whenever you're drawing, to ensure that your drawing is accurate. But then again, when this is printed, whoever is reading it is not going to be able to view what is going on here. Alright, clearly that is. Alright, despite it being on 11 by 17 paper. So we have the oil hole there. The other hole that is needed is these here on the side. So I'll project lines up for those on the sides here. Alright, as you can see, things are lining up perfectly. Let's trim away everything below. And let's mirror it to the other side. So let's mirror it to the other side. Perfect. Alright, as you can see, this is pretty much done. This is pretty much done. Alright, this is pretty much done. So let's put it on the relevant layer. Alright, and we're currently at 38 minutes into the exam. Alright, and we have completed the body and we have completed the cap. Alright, now let's see if we can draw the other parts. So the other parts that is missing for us to draw is, for example, the bush. So we're going to draw the bush. Alright, next. The bush is what we're going to be drawing next. We're going to be drawing the plan view of the bush. This is what the plan view is going to look like for the bushing. But it's going to be turned the other way or rotated 90 degrees. Then we have the end view of the bush. This is the view that you'll see on the sectional view. Alright, so this is what we're tackling next. So we have this. Now we need to draw this one here. Alright, let me plug my computer in. Alright, so at the 39-minute marker heading into the 40-minute marker, we're now more than, should we say, halfway through. Alright, the rest is not so bad to draw. The shaft is pretty easy. That's just a circle and a rectangle. So we're drawing the bush now, or the bushing if you want to call it now. So let's start things off by drawing, let me see if we can move things to the side here, like this. Alright, great. So the overall bushing here is 60 in width and 70 in width and what's that? 54. Alright, so let's go rectangle. Let's go rectangle. Click width 70. Press the tab key. And then 54. Enter. There we go. Alright. Once I've done so, we need to capture this inner portion here. Let's see. What is the 60 representing? Oh, the 60 is actually representing from here to here, but they also have this here as well, which is 30. Anyways, I'm not going to worry about that. So let's just have a relative reference line here in the middle. This might be a bit overkill, and let's offset 30 on either side of that line there. So O 30, and let's offset on either side here like this. Then now, how thick is this little inset portion? That's inset from here to inside here. Looking to see if we can find out what that is. If we're not seeing it on this, then we need to look to this one here. So let's see. Alright, let's see. So I'm seeing arrows from inner to outer 22. Which one is it? From here to here. Oh, it's actually 16. Alright, so it's actually 16 from the center. Maybe I should have drawn the circle first. Maybe that's what I should have done. Let's move. Let's, you know what? Let me draw the circle. Alright, so let me just snap to the center here. Move things over to about here. Alright, let's just draw a bunch of circles. So first circle. I'm just going to enter everything that I see. 27 radius, another circle. I'm seeing a 32 radius. I'm also seeing a 16 radius, circle, 16. All right, great. All right, so once that is done, that's pretty much all the circles. Here we have the oil hole. This needs to be on top whenever we're doing it. All right, so let's do that, and let's cut this in half. And we can always mirror it to the other side if we want. TR, enter, get rid of everything here. No further use for this reference line there. Let's clean out the middle. All right, now, yeah, let's project some lines just to make sure all is well. So something is not right. Just make sure that all is well here. All right, and then we have this here. Yeah, I'm just overkilling right now. All right, so let's see now. Based on what we're seeing here. All right, so oh, all right, yeah. That's right, because the arrow stops here. All right. So let's see if we can go through now and clean up what needs to be cleaned up. All right. Now this is a bit confusing. I'm making sure that my radius is at 0. Yeah. So fillet 0. Let's fillet this line to this line. All right. And the same treatment down here to this. All right. Great. Should I not? Yeah. Let's fillet this one here to this. And this one here to this. Now you might be wondering what is going on at this point. Alright, now once I've done so, let's grab onto this and trim here. Yeah, let's grab onto this line and trim away here. Alright, so things should be clearing up for you now in terms of like what you're actually seeing. Let's grab onto this line and trim here. All right, yeah, let's trim that. All right, 70 line. Let's click on that and well, let's try this one here. Delete and draw a line. Let's see if we can mirror this over. Hopefully it's the right measurement. No, and let's check. The distance should be 70. If not, then we have to sort that out. Yeah, so it's 70. So we're good there. So let's now just clean up. Let's just clean up our drawing. That goes, all right, and this goes. These here goes as well. These line here, they're currently in detail, but on the yeah, let's put them in detail. This will be the end view in the section, so these will remain as in detail right there. So here we go. Bushing pretty much completed. This view here, it is currently in detail, but I think on the end view it's going to be it's going to be a solid line. So let's add our oil hole now. oil hole. What's the dimension for the oil hole again? It is 4 millimeters, starting from here to here. Let's offset 2 on either side. Alright, like that. Solid. These are going to be object. Alright, let's go. Alright, great. So we have the oil hole. Alright, now the oil hole is also going to be visible on the plan view as well. Now where is it going to be? It's going to be smack in the center of this thing here. Circle, radius is 4, radius is, let me double check, diameter is 4, so radius is 2. Alright, so that's our oil hole right there. Alright, so everything is tying into place. Alright, great. Alright, now remember this here, there's 2 versions of it, so let me just mirror it like this. Alright, so that's our bushing done and dusted. The only other parts left to draw is we need to draw the shaft. Now this is 2 views of the shaft we're going to have. We're going to have a circle for the shaft that is, the diameter is 32, so radius is what, 16. And then we're going to have a rectangle REC, enter. The width of it is going to be the 32 that we just mentioned, tab key, and the height of it is going to be 78. And let's press enter. That's what they are going to look like. Alright, sideline. I think portion of the shaft is going to be move. It's going to be hidden detail when in the assembly. Alright, so that is the shaft there. So the only other part that is left to be drawn is the bolt, the square-headed bolt, and the nut. Alright, and then we can start putting things together. So we're now up at the 15-minute marker, as you can see, and we're pretty much there in terms of like all the parts being drawn. So we can draw this here now. Alright, we can draw this here now. Alright, so we're just going to draw it and have it, since they said something about draw a parts list. I don't know about the draw a parts list, but I'm going to draw it nonetheless. So let's go. Let's draw the rectangle REC, enter, click, 24, tab key 24, enter. There's a circle on the inside of it. The circle, the diameter of that circle is actually what, 14. So let's go circle, enter. If the diameter is 14, the radius is going to be 7. Alright, great. Now this is the end view of it. Now what will the plan, the other view of it look like? Now the overall length is 95. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to draw a line somewhere here. Straight line. And then I'm going to offset it by 95. 95, like this. Alright, that is the overall length of it. 95. Alright. I'm also going to offset a 9 for the thickness of the head. 9, which is going to be from here to here. Alright. Now I'm going to be projecting lines as similar in similar fashions to how you'll actually produce your orthographic drawing. Then now you can trim what needs to be trimmed. So here goes, and here goes. Alright. Next thing is that I'm going to be drawing the line that is going to represent the shaft. I'm using dynamic tracking here, all the way to there. Alright. Let's just grab onto this. There's so many ways you can do things. I just simply mirrored mine a while ago. So, but you might choose another way. Alright. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to be offsetting this line here in by 26 to represent the threaded portion of this bolt here. So let's go O, enter 26, enter click on this and then send it inwards like that. Alright, then now I can simply trim away here. Alright, once I've done so, there's a portion that you have to remember now that has to do with, as you can see, saying that the curvature on the bolt tip here is 3 millimeters. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fillet, change the radius to 3, and then I'll do that there. Alright. Then now, for the portion that is going to represent the thread, I'm going to simply draw a line in like this from, and technically it should be where the curvature ends, I'm assuming. Alright, EX, enter, send that there, grab onto that and mirror it to the other side. And then now I'll draw a line across the top like that, and that will represent the threaded portion of the bolt. Now the top is also curved in a way. Alright, if you want, you can represent that. You could use let me go here, offset 2, and I'll simply use, I could use the arc. Yeah, let's use the arc, and let's use a 3-point arc. So I'm going to go here first, click here, then I'll go to here in the center, then I'll go to there like that. Alright, should make things a bit better. Let me move this, move it from the right to the left by 1, and I'll shift this now to that point. There's standards in relation to this now. It's because that I think that you will not be able to measure these when it is printed on the paper. Alright, you have to simply use conventional notation to represent those stuff. Alright, so once that is done, let's do the nut now, the slotted nut, or a little castle nut right there. Alright, so let's see if we can draw that one there. We're now at the 55-minute marker, so it looks like this is going to be a 1 hour 20 to 30 minute paper, if you want to call it that. So let's go and draw this now. Alright, so as you can see, the dimensions for it, we have 25 in width, so, and we have 21 in height. So let's draw a rectangle. Alright, 25, tab key, 21, enter. Alright, now once we have that in place, we know that the crown, or you want to call it X, I'm then going to now offset down 40, offset up, I can offset up 14. Yeah, we could do that. 14, offset up 14, based on what we're seeing here. Alright, like that. Then now I'm seeing these curve here. I'm going to be drawing this plan view here. Where would I see, if I see this direct? So I'm going to use my polygon tool. How many sides does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, alright, so it's 6 sides. 6 sides. 6 sides. Inscribe diameter, that radius is 30, let's go 15, This is not right. Did I enter wrong measurement? Let's try that again. Polygon, 6 side, center point is going to be somewhere along here. Scribe. Let's do this. Alright, better. And let's move this up. I don't know, that 30 come into play then. Alright, so there we go. We have that there. So let's now draw the spaces in between it. Alright, now I'm seeing a 3mm thing here. I'm not sure how that goes. But here, let me just project some lines down to represent those corners on my thing like this. Alright, as you can see, there is a curvature inside of here. So let me just see if we can sort that out. On the edges, there are going to be some curve as well. Remember, the curves are actually 3mm. So let's sort that out. So these stuff. So let's fillet here and here, here and here. Let's see that all is well. There is something in the middle here. It has a lot of slots on it. Let's clean away this portion here. Alright. The hole in the middle of this here is going to be, I think, what was it? 14. So let's draw that one circle. 14. That's not it. Oh, I did something wrong. The radius of it is going to be 7. Alright, cool. And then now, from that now, we offset 3, offsetting 3, and this offset is going to be inwards. Alright, that is there. Now we need to sort out this slotted edge thing here, you know. I'm just looking at this and I'm seeing a bunch of slots and I'm just feeling lazy in terms of like drawing all of these right now. Alright, so let's sort this out. Line up in the middle to represent that. Alright. 3, 3, 6, offset 3 and 3, and I'm going to fillet this and that, this and that. Alright, where else do we have things happening? Let's trim out the middle top here, and let's fillet the corners. Fillet this and that, fillet this and that. Then now the final slotted portion inside here. Yeah, we can get rid of this. Can we? Now this portion here, wherever it stops right here, where is it? That's the corner right there. And wherever this one stops, that's right there. And it goes all the way down to here. Alright. And here. Alright, so let's do this one here now. I think it's going to fall almost on it. Let's make sure. So we're going to go fillet right here. Let's just see how this works out. That to that. And again, I don't want to mess with that one there. Alright, so this is giving me some challenges. Let me change my radius. Let's work with one here. So here we go. Let me just work with this here. This to this. It's not working. Fillet. This. And once I've done so, I'm gonna double check on that. Oh, I did 11. Anyways, let's just grab onto these here and mirror it to the other side. Grab onto these, mirror to the other side. No, this should be on the other side as well. Let's do this. Yes, one. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to undo everything that I have here, because I really can't do this right now. So let's go and just sort this out. Right here, right here, right here, right here. All right, 21 offset, 21, and offset 14. Let's trim away everything to the top here. All right. I'm seeing curvature in the middle, so line in the middle. Alright, so I'm going to offset on these line here. I'm just going to offset. So let me just change these over to object so I can have some kind of clarity when I'm doing it, because it's going to get confusing. Let's offset 1 here, 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 here. Let's fillet here, trim away here and that, and let's offset 1. Alright, like that, and let's fillet the ones. Alright, so that's one there. Then we have this one here. Let's fillet first, fillet. Alright, this and this, this and this. Alright, so let's draw our line, a line down here from here, that is. Alright, offset 2. Alright, and the same treatment across here with the line. Fillet. Let's fillet here to here, here to here, and again here to here. Alright, let me just make sure. Yep, and let's put this on our object layer. And let's mirror it to the other side. Alright, so let's clean up a bit. I think we'll have the line in the background still. So that's one right there. So let's fillet these corner. So let's trim here and here. That's what is in the middle. And let's trim or fillet here to here and here to here. All right, Alright, so there we go. We have that in place. Let's get rid of this. And let's add our little top line there to represent the background. Yeah, like that. Alright, there you have it. We have our little nut. Alright, here we go. Now, for this pin here, our split pin, we're going to leave it for now. We have to find out where that is going to go, and we're now going to start to put our drawing together. Now we're now at 1 hour and 8 minutes. Let's see what the next 20 minutes brings. All right, now as they said before, we need to do the plan view showing all in detail, as well as the sectional end view, if you want to call it that, elevation. So let's start. Now we're going to be copying these, because just in case we make a mistake, we'll need to have something to fall back to. So here we have the plan view. All right, that's the plan view right there. We know that the bushing goes inside the bushing. This is the plan view of the bushing. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to place it here in the middle. Once I have it there, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Let me turn this on. 90 degrees. Alright, once it is there, I'm going to grab onto it, and I'm going to move it. Smack in the center like that. Alright, smack in the center like that. Now once it is there, as you can see, things are lining up pretty nicely. Alright, we'll figure out everything else afterwards. Alright, so they said that the bushing goes in there. Now once the bushing is in there, the next thing is that we're going to add the top piece here, which is the cap. Alright, now this is the plan view for the cap. Now it's going to fall directly over this here. So here's what is going to happen. So let me grab on this. Let me just put it on another layer so you can see how things are pretty much moving into place. I'll change the colors afterwards. Alright, wrong thing. Copy, CP. Alright, there. Alright, let's go. And we're just using that little oil hole as a reference marker to place these. So as you can see, that's where it is now. So it's covering a bunch of stuff. So it means that this here will now be underneath it. So this will now become an in detail line. These now will become in detail lines. Alright. Now, so that will be it. Now, for the oil parts that are directly below these, yes, they'll be in detail, but we'll be seeing the visible edge, and these are actually blocking it totally, these visible edges. So we'll leave those for now. Alright. Now, once we have that in place, now remember, the shaft is going directly in the center of it, between the bushings and everything. So we're going to grab onto our shaft here. We're going to grab onto our shaft. Let's change the color of our shaft so we can see what it will look like inside there. So let's copy it. Let's grab it in the center and let's place it. What did I just select? Let's copy, grab it in the center of this object, and let's place it right there. On that note, as you can see, there is a large portion of it that is going to become in detail. Basically, everything that is between these two lines. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to, let's see if I can get rid of that. Get rid of that. So that is what it will look like. Alright, from an in detail perspective. Alright, yeah, our nut here. Now what will this look like? Now this is actually a perfect replica, and I'm going to show you of, let me just snap that there. It's going to be a perfect replica right here. Alright, so it's going to be underneath all of this here. So we're not going to put it here because, well, it is already represented by that in detail line and the circle in the middle. So that's what that will look like. What we will see though is the plan view of the nut that is going to be placed there. The plan view of the nut that is going to be on the end of this. So we're going to grab onto this here, CP, and we're going to place it right there, like this. Smack it in the center, just like that. All right, and right over here as well. All right, so there we go. There we go. All right, so we're seeing that there. Now, believe it or not, the only thing that is remaining now is the cotter pin that we're going to be placing in it. All right, now we're going to be drawing it now, and for the plan view perspective, this is what it's going to look like. Now they're saying that the overall height of it is 32. So let's draw that, 32, enter. All right, and let's see here, what do we have here? They're saying that the radius of everything is 2 off. Oh, it's 2 off. Hold up, let me just check on something here. So 2, 3, 3, I don't know. Specs on this is not so 100 ms. So they're saying split pin 2 off, mild steel. Alright, so we have the height. Alright, so 3. So they're saying that the overall thing is 3. Let's just work with that. Alright, so I'm going to offset this line here by what? I'm going to be offsetting this line here by 3. Let's just do 3. And in the middle now, I'm going to offset radius 3. I'm going to offset again 3. Alright, for each pin. Alright, now in the middle now, I'm going to have a radius. Now this one here is going to be 1, 2, 3 and 3, 6, 12. 3, 3, 3, no, 9. Circle, 9. Alright, on the inside of it, I'm going to offset this line inwards by 3 as well. Alright, now here's how we're going to clean up this one here. I'm going to get rid of this. Alright, yeah, let's just do this. I can always fillet the corners. Alright, I can always fillet the corners. So let's ensure that our fillet radius is at 0. Alright, and we're going to fillet this to this, this to this, this here. I guess we could have 2 of them. We could have 2, but let's just extend back the circle to touch it. Let's just extend the circle to touch it. Shift. Alright, let's get rid of that old one. And then trim away here. So this is the pin. Alright. Now remember, the overall height of it is going to be 32. So let me just ensure that this is 32, because remember we draw some stuff there. Offset 32. 32. Now this is way too big. 0.5. You know what, I'm going to leave it because time is going. Now what is going to happen now is that I'm going to stop one of the pin right here. TR, trim here. This goes away. I'm going to keep this extra one down here. Alright, and I'll keep this right here. Now where will this go? this is going to be, and I'm going to put this on a special layer so you can see what's going on. I'm going to be grabbing onto it, so I'm going to copy it and I'm going to place it. I can grab onto it probably about here. I'm going to place it through, because I didn't draw the holes in it, you know, but I'm going to be placing it along here, or somewhere along here. Alright, so this is going to be a bit large, so what I'll have to do now, let me see if I can probably scale it down to the 0.5 that I mentioned. Oops, scale it, SC, enter, click, 0.5, enter. Then now I'll adjust the length of it to make that 32. Alright, like that. Offset, I think 21, 32, enter, like that. Alright, then now I can do it like this. Maybe I can I? Alright, so EX, enter, send those down. This now will be somewhere along down here as well. Let's leave it about there, and let's draw a line across like that. Alright, and now I can, because I'll have to change how it looks once I place it. Let's copy it now. I'm going to hold on to it right here, and I'm going to place it smack in the middle like this. Alright, as you can see, and let's double check on this here. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Now, not only is it going to be on this one here, but it's also going to be on the next bolt as well, nut as well, right there. Alright, now usual treatment, if it is being blocked by something, then we have to show that. I'm going to show some of the pins, well, not the pins, but the slots in this as well. So I'm going to be projecting some lines up, and then I'll just probably I could probably do it like this. Probably do it like this. Alright, yeah. So that will be one. Get rid of here. And in the middle. Alright. Same treatment along here as well. So what I'll do is that I'll grab onto these two here, and can I copy rotate? I don't know. Let me copy first. Array. One, two, enter. Alright, so maybe that won't work. Let me double check. Okay, so it's there. So let me just grab this. I'm going to try to rotate it from the center. Let me reference. Like that. And I'll do the same again. Copy. Select my base point. Place it right there. And let's do a rotation thing again. And let's copy. base point. Oh, no, it's this. So it's click, 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 and we're rotating. My base point is here. We're going reference from here, turn that off to here, and let's rotate it to here. Alright, so it will look something like that. Alright, now once that is in place, I'm going to have to do some of extra magic work here. Let me unselect this and copy base here. Alright, great. Now let's place it where it needs to be. Smack in the center there. Smack in the center right there. On that note, our little caterpillar thing there is too large. I'm going to have to edit that later on. So let's focus on, because this would be basically hit right now. The only thing that's remaining for us to do now is to sort out our end view, which is going to be this here, which we're going to be doing now. So let's copy this and let's place it where it needs to be, here, up like that. All right, and the bushing, yeah, the bushing, let's copy these, CP, enter. Oh, and something to also note, the one that is going to be at the top, only one side will have the oil hole. Alright, so this now is that I'm going to move it so that it touches this here, and then now I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees like that. Then now I'll move it so that it is in the center right here. Snap it to the wrong thing. Do it one at a time. Move, enter. Alright, cool. Should have snapped at the right spot now. This is giving me some problems. Let's ensure that all is well. Let's move it. Right there. Is it there? Alright, so something is happening here with my bushing. So I'm going to have to check on that. But in the meantime, let me just add the other parts, which is going to be right here. So let's move this. No, let's copy it. Alright. And this is the beauty of just when you're doing it, you just simply copy. Because if you made a mistake at some point, then it's easy to identify where the error is. Because the bushing should fit nicely in this space here. The bushing should fit nicely in this space here. For the shaft, it's going to be smack in the center. I'm going to copy that as well. Right here. Now, for the shaft here, you can go ahead and hatch that using the steel hatch pattern. Let's find it. Brick. Steel. Like that. Alright, now for inside here now, this line that is in the middle here, you will not see it because the shaft would be blocking it. Not the shaft, or the bolt would be blocking it. Alright, likewise here as well. So you wouldn't have that there. Now for the bolt, here it is, remember. Let's grab onto this, CP, and let's take it down to here. Let's rotate it 90 degrees RO, enter. Let's turn this up, right, and let's place it where it should be. Now I might have to use a reference line for this here, somewhere across here like this, so I can grab onto it, and then I'll move. Let's copy here to here. All right, like that. And then now, oh, we need it on the other side as well, so let's just do what we have to do here. Here, and in some cases I'll just group these, so if I need to do anything or move it back, I can always do so. Let's just mirror it to the other side. Alright, so there it is, in place. For the bushing portion, the bushing will be in this space here. Alright, now the bushing, there are some portion of the bushing that you would not see, like the portion that is going to be behind this here. Alright, so let's see if we can sort that out. So it will be this here. In other words, it will be the outer circle, which is right here, which is the larger one, that is 32 in radius. Alright, so if I'm going to say, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Find the center here, and the radius is 30. What was it? 32? 30, 32, 32. Yeah, 32. Alright, 32. Alright, you realize that it is now impeding on these. When we moved the thing over a while ago, you saw it. Alright, now this here, based on how we cut it, let's just double check. It's going to be on this side here on the background. Alright, now there is a conflict. What will it look like? Now, because it's a section view, you can't really have in detail lines. So for this, we'll have to ignore it at this point. Alright, now for the bushing, we do not know what the bushing is actually made of, the material. Alright, so we don't know what the bushing material is made out of. Maybe it's rubber, maybe it's metal, whatever it may be. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to extend this here without having to copy over the bushing here down to it. We're just going to extend the hole that is representing the oil hole to touch the material there. Now the only thing that is actually missing from this here now, the only thing that is missing here is actually the nut that needs to be on the top here. Alright, and we already have a view of it right here. Here it is. Let's put it on the relevant layer. Let's move it. Let's group it first. I'm going to group it. Oops. So let's group it. Now that it is grouped, I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to place it where it should be placed. Hopefully I have somewhere to snap to. So let's see. Alright, let's see. Can we... Alright, so I need a little reference marker. Reference marker on top here. So I'm going to draw a little line, horizontal line across there. So at least I have that to snap to. So let's move this to that pointer right there. And now we know, and you recall me saying this earlier, we don't know where the circular thing would fall. What circular thing am I talking about? This here. Alright, so now we actually know where it would have fallen. Alright, right there. Now once we have that in place, we can now mirror it to the other side. Alright, so it will look somewhat like that. So it will look like that. Now once we have done that, alright, I believe we have most of the stuff in place. Now for the catcher pin thing, the split pin, to represent that, all I'll say, since we have it like this going across like that, I would say just simply draw a circle right in the center here like this, like that. Alright, and just mirror it to the other side. Alright, and that will represent the cutter pin. Or two circles. You could do two circles. Alright, so you have one on one side and one on the other side, since it will be two pieces. So you probably could have a circle between here and here. Can we find the center? Let's add a little reference line. We have about two circles. One to represent either part of the pin. So it will look somewhat like that. Alright, and all you have to do is simply mirror it to the other side. Now, in relation to this line that we have in the middle, let's just get rid of that there. And again, you can also hatch those pointers as well. Alright, so let's go. Now remember, we do not hatch shafts and all that stuff. So the parts that we'll hatch on this would actually be the body portion of this here. So let's go through and sort out that. So we'll be hatching here. Alright, and here. Alright, now that will be the bottom portion that needed to be hatched. Alright, let's go. And then now the top portion, now we'll have to rotate the angle 90 degree of the hatch pattern, or 45 degree. Let's try 45 degree first. We'll hatch here, so we're going to change it to 90. Alright, so like that, and we're going to change it to 90 degree. Alright, so it changes direction. Alright, so we have the bushing here that we're leaving alone, because remember, I think they said we do not hatch bushing. We do not hatch bolts and nuts as well, but we still have to clean up this area here. Alright, how are we going to clean it up? I have no idea at this point, but in the meantime I'm going to be focusing on some other areas, alright, such as the curvature that is going to be inside of here. Alright, that curvature, where is it? Here. Alright, starts there and ends, oh, it ends on the line. Alright, so curvature, which is a circle from the center, ends on the line like that. Just double check. Alright, yeah, yep. So where is it stopping? It's going to stop right here and right here. Let me get rid of it like this. And then now there is going to be a line running from there to here. Alright, same treatment on this side here, just to ensure that we have all the pointers. And this is just something that we discovered closer to the end of the drawing. Now, I believe that this paper here was a bit challenging, right? Because this is where we're at, 1 hour 36 minutes. Despite me yapping on a bunch of other stuff, but there's still work for us to do. Because remember, they ask us to do some other stuff as well. So we did this, the assembly, hidden detail shown and all that, sectional front, plumbing block, whatever, parts list, whatever, title block and all that stuff. So this is what we're going to add for the title. So we're going to add that now. We're going to add that now for the title using multi-line text. Right, let's add that text. Scale, Scale is going to be 1 to 1. That's why they said full scale. Now it's too small, my text. So let's see what my text size is here. 3. Let's make it 5 or 7. Alright, let's open this out. Here I like to make that text thing there to the inside, and this here half of the current size, so let's make it 4 or somewhere along that line. This is going to be on my text layer, annotation layer. Let's place it up somewhere here. Alright, so things are looking up nicely. I still think that this could be a bit bigger, so let's scale it up by twice the amount to 2. Alright, now it's looking a bit better. Let me turn off ortho for this. Alright, here still needs some tidying up. How am I going to tidy it up? Since it's a section, what is going to happen is that the portion that will be visible, I'm going to show it somewhat like a broken out section. So I'm going to click on that, 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 and that, and that. And I'm going to trim everything in relation to the bolt. Alright, so this is more like a broken out section type thing. Alright, if you want to think about it like that. Alright, and it will be the same thing on this side as well. That here as well, just for some simplicity in the drawing. So let's go get rid of that. Yeah, we probably could see what can happen for here. See if we can trim that. This part is not going, so let's explode that and simply delete. Ungroup. Yeah, let's get rid of that there. If you wanted, you could simply just make this a simple rectangle. In this case, here where we have this cutout here, we'll have none of that, so we'll trim out this portion here, and likewise here as well. Alright, so it's looking a lot better now. The bushing area or collar pin here, too large, way too large, but we're only going to leave it there. Alright, and we're going to sort out our little parts list right now, and we're going to draw our orthographic symbol. Since we copied and did the whole elevation up top, plan below, it is basically our first angle, so we're simply going to reproduce this here. So we're going to go circle, click, let's just use a suitable measurement there, circle again, click, like that. Let's copy this here, CP, and let's place it right here on the corner there. Line is going to be from top to bottom here. Once I've done so, I'll move this one here to here now, and then now I'll move this to here, then I'll draw a line from here to the top of the circle, bottom of the circle, and back here. Then now I'll just erase this portion here. Alright, then I'll draw my line running through. Let me turn on ortho like that. Alright, all of this here, object, this here, center, And this is going to be placed where? Move. Let me turn this off. Probably somewhere along here. Probably could pop on the dimensions, and we'll sort out our parts list thing here now. We're going to make this as simple as possible with our parts list. CP, copy that and place it somewhere over here like this. Alright, then we have this piece here. Let's put it on the relevant layer. Copy and place it underneath here. This is what was 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. Alright. On that note, once that has been done, the next thing is the bushing. CP, grab onto that. The bushing is what, 3? Yeah, great. Alright. And then now we're going to have 4. What is 4? 4 is the bolt. So let's put this on the relevant layer. Grab onto that, CP, and let's place it where it should be. Alright, and then now 5 is the nut. Alright, so let's grab onto that, CP, grab onto that and let's place it. Then now the next one, 5, we have 6, which is the shaft. Let's put it on the relevant layer. And there's still much to do, so this is the reason why I said that this not as simple as it may seem, but because it requires some amount of work based on all the wording of the question 6. And then finally the cutter pin, which is this here, CP, and we place it right here. We're going to be adding our names to it, to the respective things. So we're going to have our title here. Let's change this to 10 parts. That's what we're writing. 10 is way too... Oh my goodness. Based on how I'm going to position it on the sheet when I'm laying it out, I think it's best if I move it to probably here, right? And then rotate it 90 degrees like this. I think it's best if I do it like this. So let's increase the scale of this some more to probably 3 times the amount. Yep. Alright, so we're going to do it like this. And then now we can add the names of the respective parts. In the interest of time, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be the body, label number 1, label number 1, right? So this is it, not 30, but let's make it 10. All right, so that's the body. Then we have the cap. Label number 2. Here is the cap. Label number 2. Alright, let's move this over a bit. Alright, let's also move these up so we can fit as much as possible on the page when we're laying it out. Alright, let's move all of these up. Alright, then we have the bushing or the bush. body, and we have the bush. We have the bush. That's the bolt, and then that, and then that. So let's just go through and edit now. The bush, label number 3. And then we have, what was it again? The M threaded bolt, label number 4. Here it is. Alright. Then we have the nut, secure the cap to the shaft. Shaft is label number 6. Shaft is label number 6. Here it is. Number 6. Alright. We have the fixed bush tightening to M. Alright, so then we have the M square headed slotted nut. Alright, so here it is, slotted nut, label number 5. And then we have this one here, the slotted pin. Shaft must be secured in place. Yeah, the split pin. So finally we have the split pin, label number 7. Alright, now they said something about dimension. So what are we going to be dimensioning? We're going to be dimensioning, so let's go to our dimension there, because we're running out of time. So we're dimensioning here. Let me turn on ortho for this, and snap here. Let's just double check on the dimension that they want. Draw parts list and show 8 main dimensions to include length. Alright, cool. Typical stuff. So we have length, so we're going to go length. We're going to go length on both of these, just to make sure. We're going to go probably radius and diameter as well. So we're going to go radius this here. We're going on it for that one there, and we're going to go let me move this out of the way so that when we're laying out we don't have any issues. Diameter, we can go with diameter on this here. Diameter, we're going to go diameter on this here as well. Diameter, we can go diameter on, alright. Again, for the M thing bolt thread specification thing, it's best to simply use your leader line thing and go like this. So it will be M14 slotted nut. Right, and you could also, I don't know. Alright, so let's just make sure we have everything that they mentioned. So 8 main dimension, including length, a diameter, a radius, metric screw thread specification. Alright, so let's just go through. So do we have them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could go radius here as well. We could go radius here on these. Alright. We could go diameter on this here, which is the 4. We could add dimensions on the shaft if you like. Let's drop it on here just in case they were talking about the parts list thing. And we could go drop a text. Well, no, let's go. We're going to go S24. Alright, for the sides. Overall length, thickness of that. Yeah, let's just pop on some more dimension before we go ahead and lay out our drawing now. So we're pretty much set with all of these here. We have the dimensions in. Since these are the parts, so let's add these to the relevant layer. Hidden. Hidden. What else is going to be hidden for us? Yes, hidden. Alright. Likewise these, so let's just use our match properties function for these here. These as well. Alright, these. Alright, now that those are sorted out, I don't believe there is anything else. Yeah, let's leave it like that, and let's do our labeling before time runs out. So again, I have my layout space already set up here, so I'm going like this. I'm going to double tap here, my symbol. Let's try to see, let me shift this to my left here, and I'm going to go, let's see how 1 to 1 looks. If not, then I'll have to go 1 to 2. Alright, so 1 to 1 can definitely not fit on this paper, so we have to go 1 to 2. Alright, 1 to 2 fits perfectly. Alright, double tap. This is our 1 to 2. 1 to 2 fits nicely. Alright, so it means that we're going to go in and we're going to change. You know what, let me go to my model space to do that. And change this to 1 to 2. For our parts list, let me shift that there. For parts list, we'll make a copy, assembly, create a copy, assembly. Let me just rename this parts list. For the parts list, let's see if we can fit this here. So what I'll have to do now is probably grab onto these here and probably rotate them 90-degree or so. Yeah, and then now I'll just zoom in on, well, let's see what 1 to 2 looks like. That's 1 to 2. Let's see what 1 to 1 looks like. No, that's not going to work out, so 1 to 2 it is. Yeah, that's 1 to 2. So yeah, 1 to 2 is a bit tight. So we'll have to shift things around to make them fit. So I know that here is tight over here, so I'll just go in and shift things around. So let's just move this down like that. Let's rotate this one here, RO, enter. Let's do it like that. Now once I have that, I'm going to match this property here so I can get the others to conform to how I want it to be. This one as well. Alright, so let's now move these so they can fit my bush. This one here. So for the cutter, for the pin here, let's see how I can fix it in the model space. Alright, so we have it here. Alright, so what I'll probably do, let me just put it right down here because it seems more appropriate. This one here as well. Shift this over. The bush. Alright, and split pin. Just move this all together. Probably could put it underneath here. Let me just cut down this text size here. Probably 8 or so. Alright, likewise for the slotted screw, slotted nut. And for this now, which is, let me see if I can shift it a bit and move the name. Alright, and then we have this here. Let me switch up the name again to make it a bit smaller. Alright, it makes sense to put it here. Alright, so this is how I'm going to leave mine. With dimensions and all, let's see what it will look like. And now we can make things around. And again, there's much more you can do. So for example, you know, the center lines that needs to be in place here. Alright, center lines for these as well. So we're roughly at 2 hours now. Remember, they said we shouldn't spend more than 2 hours on this thing here, so we're going to call it there, assuming that we would have been running out of time for all of this here. Alright, same treatment here. Let's just draw a few more. These would be placed just about everywhere there's a circle, and from a plan view perspective. Right? Even here. Alright, so we're going to leave it there. Let's just do a quick preview of what this will look like. So our assembly drawing, let's preview. That is what it will look like. Alright, for our parts list, cancel that. This is what it will look like. Again, remember the drawing will be linked down in the description below, where you can view it. Maybe you could have improved on the timing. Probably you'd have done something different. So if you think you would have done something different, you can always leave it in the comment section down below. Alright, because there's certainly things that I would have done differently to ensure that the drawing is done in a more timely manner and more efficient without wasting a lot of time. Alright, again, thanks for watching. Hope this video was helpful, and I hope it guides you or provides some level of understanding for your upcoming exams. Alright, see you in the next one. Remember, the file is going to be linked down in the description. The next video is going to be in the description and linked in the playlist as well for the sketch and design portion. Alright, see you.